Celine is a certified information privacy manager and is the head of learning and development at Straits Interactive.
What are the trends that will be affecting the data protection community, and how then do we look at data governance, because that is up and coming. Now, because of these new laws, the requirements in these countries that specify for the appointment of data protection officers increased from 22 before the European law to 46 after the GDPR came into enforcement. And all of these enforcement cases, all of these data protection laws, all of this landscape in data protection were driven by three main drivers. Over the last two and a half years, we had seen mobile apps, for example, that was looking at tracking users. Now, the China law has come in. We were all watching when is the first enforcement case and all that. So DiDi was fined 8 billion RMB, which is the equivalent of about 1.2 billion US dollars by the Chinese regulator. So all of this means companies will have a huge push, making sure that they've got data protection in place. So increasing the opportunities in this, looking at how you can plan for your business needs is going to be important. And this came from the European data strategy. They've actually looked at this about 2 years ago, and estimation of global data growing from 33 zettabytes, right? Now, I don't even know how many zeros is behind the word zettabytes, but if you imagine that you store 512 gigabytes in one tablet, all of those tablets will build a tower that will reach the moon. By 2025, it will be 175 zettabytes. Now, what does it mean when you've got this amount of data? It means that the data processing will change. When data processing change in such a huge way, your roles will be impacted, your business will be impacted, your compliance needs, your regulatory needs. So the EU estimates the value of data economy. In 2025, it will be up to 2.8 times, which is 800 billion of the EU GDP. But they estimate that the number of professionals needed will be 10.9 million. Whenever there are threats, there will be opportunities. And there we have creation of value. At the same time, there will be threats. There will be new regulatory requirements that you have to consider. How do you consider in the landscape of all of that? What are the roles and trends of you managing your career? Because of where we are moving towards, which is a data-driven world, the singular most important thing is that of trust. If you don't trust the system, if you don't trust the ability for you to share your information, you are going to have problems. Do you have governance that looks at all of these areas? And are you managing risks? It is now going to be crucial that we expand our knowledge on data management and to move from data protection to data management and therefore to data governance in order that we can enable business objectives, not just reduce risks, but to also increase value to the data. You also are familiar with the management of personal data. What are your practices, your processes, your actions, your controls over personal data? But now it's got to extend beyond personal data to cover all data and to have that ability to look at your governance strategy. It's going to be important that you look at it from an integrated approach and you consider all of these areas now. So all of these different things can come in, but if you're not already familiar, there are different standards right now. And this is just a comparison, right, of the different standards that's out there. PDPC came up with a DPO competency roadmap. And already when they spelled that out then, right, 2019, it was the world's first framework that looks at the roles and trainings for DPOs. So together with SMU Academy, we have looked at creating new programs. We've actually launched it a year back, and all these programs are mapped also to allow us to handle and to look at all of these different risks. We now have a new advanced cert. So that was the advanced certification in governance, risk management, and data compliance. we now have the Advanced Cert in Data Governance Systems. You'll find that while you have gotten your data protection certification, the world is moving towards that of data governance and having that integrated approach. And for that, we've actually been working with OSAC, which is the Open Compliance Ethics Group, to come up with a new integrated data privacy capability model. We are looking to be launching that soon. A summary for you, for your organization to create an accountability framework for your data governance, for your governance, risk, and compliance of your business objectives, to enhance your competencies as well as your organizations, your employees' competencies, so that you can decrease your risk, increase the value of how you utilize your data, and to have ways where you can govern and manage these capabilities.
For more data protection resources, visit www.dpaxnetwork.org, the Data Protection Excellence Network, and sign up for free as a member to have full access to all content. Do also like and follow us on Facebook and LinkedIn if you found this useful.